Fun. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to SaaS Founder Stories. My name is David Brennan, and I have Daivik Goel from Intrepid with me today. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, great to be here.
Tell me a little bit about Intrepid. What do you guys do?
Yeah. So Intrepid is building our product Superstar. So Superstar helps influencer marketing managers track, manage, and scale the creator operations. And essentially, the thesis there is that a lot of brands right now are investing heavily in influencer marketing. And, of course, I think the business economics of influencer marketing in the last 4 years has really propped up, and people are starting to recognize that, hey, this is a great channel for us to leverage. Uh, and on top of all of that, a lot of brands are moving from working with 10 creators to 100 micro creators. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different factors happening in the influencer marketing space, but the common thread through all of it is brands today are tracking their influencer activities like contracts, products, promotions, and different other factors, all on Google Sheets, which is
Okay.
not a very scalable solution, especially as you're moving away from either from big creators to small creators, or even if you're just trying to invest more money. So essentially, Superstar comes in as a platform layer to help brands and influencer marketing teams at brands track, manage, and scale those different items.
Cool. So how would I use it? Like how do I walk me
Yeah,
through it?
yeah. So for example, let's say you have Nike, and Nike's running a campaign with 100 influencers, 100 athlete influencers. And so Nike would pretty much put those creators in our platform. We would pull a bunch of social data, depending on the platforms that they're part of. So TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. They're throwing their products or import their products in from Shopify or whatever e-commerce platform that they're using, and the different promotions. And basically, all of that comes together into these contracts that we create for them. So it's essentially a proof of record. So they import all the data into our system, and all the data becomes linked through contracts and different actions that you make. So instead of having massive spreadsheets that, hey, we've had these activities with this creator on this date, and you have 10,000 lines tracking all of that, it's all in a soup and link system with all your data getting imported from the different platforms that you have.
Cool. And so for you, who's your ideal customer now? Who are you going
Yeah.
after?
So influencer marketing teams at brands. So most large brands, especially direct to consumer ones, have an influencer marketing team. So we are definitely targeting those brands. But I think on the smaller scale of things, there's a lot of brands, fashion and cosmetics, that have around 100K or 200K followers on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn or TikTok, and their primary channel is influencer marketing. So any basically any company that has over 10 or 15 creators and are doing a lot of work in influencer marketing, they fall into our ICP.
Very cool. And so for you guys, are you what who are you going after the most? Like are you going after the big ones? You going after enterprise? Who's that perfect fit customer for you now?
Yeah, so we're a little early stage, so still testing out the waters. We have different playbooks running right now. So we have a sales-led motion through our community and our sales partner program to bring on larger enterprise customers, and then we're doing more of a product-led motion as well. So for those smaller customers, trying to make content that speaks out to them and basically gets them to a trial that we have enabled on our website. So really, early stage, it's a lot of trying to see what you get and building around that. So that's sort of where we're at. But we have both motions running for larger customers and smaller customers.
Very cool. So you got have you tried using your product to get influencers to promote your product?
Yeah, maybe that's the next step.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Um, cool. So tell me, what's the biggest challenge you guys have had in the last 6 months that you want to give us a little bit of a lesson on?
Yeah, I think there's obviously a lot. Early stage startups, you solve a problem every week. I feel like a big problem every week. But I think one of the bigger ones is influencer marketing is a semi-closed space where if you know people within it, it's like a tight knit community, but it can be a little bit difficult when you're coming from the outside. And although we had some warm connections, of course, we're B2B SaaS. We're not completely in that space. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but I think the one of the biggest breakthroughs has been the sales partner program. It's a win-win situation where, like cloud a couple years ago, where a lot of people who were senior leaderships in cloud went to go do their own consultancies. Same way with influencer marketing. Now that it's been 4 or 5 years of it being pretty big at a lot of companies, a lot of the heads of influencer marketing are actually moving to do their own consultancies. So we're taking note of that trend and basically bringing them on as partner program onto our partner program, so we can come in as a technology partner while giving them good incentives to to obviously give more value to their customers and use us as a partner. So I think that has really solved a lot of our inbound, because it's one thing if we are a sales team and going directly to the customer, which we were doing, but it's another thing if people already have these existing relationships and we can capitalize on it.
So walk me through how you guys figured out that the partnerships were there and how did you get them into play?
Yeah, so this is sort of where the warp connections comes into play. So we had Manny Toro, who was the head of influencer marketing at Nike, SoundCloud, or head of marketing in Nike, SoundCloud, and a couple other big companies. And so we've had a good connection with him for a long time, and he was sort of our pilot there. So it was basically we started off with him, and as we started looking more and more into the space, we realized, hey, a lot of people like Manny, and so the community is essentially a funnel for us to get to meet people in the community. And through conversations, just normal chats, not necessarily sales call, but just getting to know people, we've just found out that, hey, a lot of people are in that boat as well.
Very cool. So what are you doing now to optimize that so that you're able to like increase leads and
Yeah, I mean, we have different sequences running. Both with direct outbound and then more indirect funnels to the community. Essentially, we're trying to find ways of automating that or trying to make it bigger because there's only so much we can do per week. And so we're just trying to find some more growth, like doing small growth engineering hacks to do that. But for now, the people we do have in the community, we're trying to cultivate a great environment for them, trying to get familiar with them and start developing a relationship. And I think, as an early stage startup, one of the biggest advantages that you have is this ability to personalize, especially early on. And so you should really leverage that. And that's what we're trying to do here.
yeah, one of the things that continuously comes up in these conversations, especially in early stage, is like really getting close to the customer, getting close to the people that are promoting and using your product so that you're able to really understand and build those relationships because I think that's what really gives you the ability to get to that next level. I think sometimes as founders, we're trying to automate stuff too early. And it's like, you probably just need to stay there a bit and talk to them and get to know them and so that you can really understand them deeply. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I mean, 100%. I think, like I mentioned, it's one of those, you have a couple different weapons in your tool belt as an early stage company, and that is one of them, right? Like big companies, the reality is that they can't be as, like, you're not talking to the founder of the big company.
Hmm.
When you hop on a sales call, you're talking to a sales rep, and his main goal, or his or her main goal, is to sell you on the product. uh, when you're talking to the founder, of course, that element is there. You're trying to sell a product, but at the same time, you're talking to somebody who has so much control on the company, and you have a direct communication with them. So you leveraging that as an early stage startup is I think one of the best weapons that you have, and what that means is developing these relationships, just to inform product decisions, and of course to make your customers happy is something that you should be leveraging.
So imagine you are a little bit of an awkward founder. What's your advice to the people on how to build those relationships and get out of
Uh,
their comfort zone, I'll say, and
yeah,
start chatting?
I mean, I think the first thing is just go for it. I think we don't we give people credit for more long term memories than you would imagine, or we always, what if they ghost me? What if they don't like my message? and you just and you overthink it. And the reality is that most people aren't. They'll think about it maybe for 5 minutes, and then they'll never think about it again, right? So I think that's the first thing to realize, that humans aren't that complicated. People are very similar, and you coming out of the blue is not something new necessarily for them. And then the second part with it is like coming back to that, to that principle of, hey, humans aren't that different. It's at the end of the day, like people want to buy things that provide them value or help them, uh, you know, or help them with their job, and they want to buy things from people they like. So
Hmm.
if you can do either, which is, or both actually, ideally, where hey, you can provide value and get to know them like on a personal basis, not don't just run into your sales fund like sales pitch and just go for it. Generally try to know what they're about and their problems, and understand more about them before you understand how you can deliver value. I think that goes a long way. So reach out to people and realize they're humans. They're not just trees you're trying to shoot arrows at.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. There's it's really important to remember that you are talking to other human beings. So just go and enjoy them.
that
Get to know
that's
them.
I think that is the essence of sales that I've realized, that get to know them, understand their problems, understand how you relate to them, and then know how you can deliver value. And if you can do that effectively, I think you'll be good.
Nice. What's your closing advice for a founder that's trying to figure out if channel partners a way to go for them in their business?
Honestly, like you can, I mean, you can obviously do an analysis on the industry, see where things are going, and try to understand. But the way I operate is you just try things out. Just like how when you're reaching out to people, people have short-term memories. A lot of the experiments you run, failure, I think we look at failure a lot bigger than the actual impact that will have, and you'd never look at the lessons you'll actually learn from doing it. So I would say, like, look at the industry. You should have some type of background and some type of knowledge before you do it. But after a while, you just give it a go. See what people think. See how you would like to structure it. And I think learning from doing, at least in my experience, has been much more valuable than learning from just thinking.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I do first, and then I'll go and read a book to figure out what I did wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? If you do it, you can probably write the book about what went wrong by the end of it, because you'll be right
Yeah,
there in real time.
that's awesome. Cool, man. So, tell me if there's something that we could help you with in the network over the next 6 months. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, we're fully on customer acquisition right now. So if there's any brands listening to this and they have an influencer marketing team, and they're struggling with their spreadsheets, come send me an email, or come to our website, joinsuperstar.com, and you
Okay.
can see some of what we do, and you can get onto a trial. And yeah, happy to talk. We're just fully in customer acquisition mode right now.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, and good luck, and I'll be following along.
Thanks, David.
Have a great day.